G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an anti-armor gamma gun with 50% more limb damage and 90% reduced weight, major and minor legendary effects respectively. So the gamma gun, I don't think I've ever covered before in Fallout 76 on the channel, but it has gone through some changes recently. Not super recently, but it has gone through some changes. Originally this thing wasn't boosted by Gunslinger if you had the perks equipped, but now it is, and it's doing a nice amount of ballistic damage along with its radiation damage. To all of those who think that this thing is actually useless against ghouls, well, I suggest you keep watching because that is a big fat lie. Anyways, so 121 and 125 ballistic and radiation damage respectively is a solid start. You'll notice that when I actually apply the perks, the radiation damage wouldn't be boosted, which allows it to get actually better ghoul killing potential basically. So let's chuck on some Gunslinger Perks, Expert, Master, and Basic. And we've got quick hands here because this thing doesn't actually work in VAT, so we're going to take off some of those VATS perks to help us out. And we go through our 8-round magazine very, very quickly, especially with the signal repeater. We'll get to the attachments a little bit later. So with the quick hands, I've also got Refractor in here because there's honestly not a lot else that I could possibly put in Perception that will give me benefits, and I still like having the benefits of having Perception at 9. And we're going to boost Bloody Mess by 1 point because our luck meter is kind of filled at the moment, but that's fine. 203 damage, that's no adrenaline, no adrenal reaction, so 203 damage is pretty good, especially when you find out how fast this thing fires. Okay, taking a look at the attachments now, we've got the Deep Dish, which is a band. They made that song called Flashdance. And those of you who are into 2000s club, well, you probably know what I'm talking about. But we do a lot more raid damage than the standard dish, which is useful for PvP. Not that I'll really give a shit about that, won't be using it. But a sharpshooter's grip will better recoil and hipfire accuracy. That's pretty good, I guess. And now with the muzzles, it gets a little bit more interesting. Although it doesn't actually go on the muzzle at all. I'm thinking the muzzle is here, but apparently it's over here. So the signal repeater will allow it to be fired automatic. That's 91. Now to give you a little bit of perspective on that, a handmade shoots, at least not boosted by fire rate, at 75. So that's pretty massive. An electrical signal carrier antennae will actually allow you to charge the thing up to do more damage, and you get a little bit of energy damage along with that. I'm not going to be using this one because if you don't charge up your weapon fully, I believe you incur a damage penalty. So it does slow down its DPS a little bit, but damage per shot is definitely higher. And we don't have armor piercing on energy damage yet, so I'm going to leave that until a little bit later, I suppose. Okay, so here we are. It's a very foggy morning, but taking a look at the gamma gun for a second, it actually looks pretty good. The texture is a little bit better than what I remember using this thing on Fallout 4 on. That's what it looks like in third person. It's a silly looking weapon, but it actually does the talking when it outputs the damage. So, unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit hard to see our targets here, but we'll see how we go. Basically, it's a radiation Glock, which is kind of scary to be honest, and definitely not a weapon that you'd be wanting to be fired at. Like, of all things, I'd probably rather be shot at an anti-material rifle than this, because at least if this thing doesn't kill you, you have to live with horrible, horrible radiation poisoning. It's over nice and quickly when it comes to using rifles like the anti-material rifle. In fact, they're exploded. And as you can tell, with the super mutants, they are resistant to radiation. There'll be very little times where you actually be able to make a lot of use out of the radiation, but it will throw radiation in a splash damage radius. We're actually getting our asses kicked right now. Maybe I should have put on Serendipity, but when we open this thing up in VATS, as you can tell, it's fairly accurate, which is very, very nice. And we do have Nerd Reg going as well. And it's probably going to be very dangerous to be running around like this, but once we get Nerd Reg going, we'll be alright. Now, despite this thing's blazing rate of fire, it's actually kind of slow on this uptake against these super mutants, well, simply because we got detected there. We aren't actually able to, engage them in a way that would be able to kill them a lot quicker. But damage per shot, as you can tell, very, very good. The condition is holding up. We do have Gunsmith rank 5, so I feel like we might have to repair this once throughout the testing in this video, but if it kills fast, we can actually make those shots hit. We don't have to deal with missed shots, and we'll be, right. Now, a couple of things. This thing does not fire hit scan projectiles. Also, that kind of happens sometimes. Just ignore that. So basically, if you're using this thing without VATS, be prepared to miss a lot of shots on moving targets. And hang on, were we sneaking just then? Okay, we are in caution, but as far as I am understanding, okay, we're not actually able to be awarded with stealth criticals with this, which could be a problem, I suppose. Also, another thing, just like any explosive weapon, this thing will deal damage to you if you shoot it at your feet, in the form of radiation damage. Now, back in Fallout 4, you actually had a little bit of explosive damage come off of this. That appears to have been removed, although you do get a nasty stagger out of it too, so make sure you grab your pneumatic armor, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. Now, it appears to be firing big rays of gamma, which seem to be blocked by whatever it hits, so threading the needle with this thing, probably easier said than done, but, I mean, it's easy when there's super mutants sort of in the way there, but still. Alright, let's get inside. Okay, so noting how good this thing went despite being a unsuppressed weapon, we're still hidden back in the caution now, but she'll be right. Uh-huh. Okay, it looks like we've picked up a bug with that. That's interesting. And I don't have gun fu either. That's because I wasn't going to use it in VATS all that much. And now we are seeing where this thing kind of sucks. It's got a slow reload on it, and we do have stuff like Speed Demon and everything like that. So even with the boosts from that perk set, it's very slow, and sometimes it just don't hit. There's a little bit of broadsider action happening with this, but all in all, it's a lot more what's it called? Consistent. That's the word. A lot more convenient. What the hell does that mean? No, it's not convenient to fire radiation at your enemies, especially when they're not hit scan projectiles. And there appears to be no splash damage anymore, which kind of sucks. And I believe we just got a proc of that thing. That guy just forgot we were there. And okay. What the fuck was that, game? That was unacceptable. I was firing at that super mutant, not that wall next to me. Alright, so something you should probably know about this. Sometimes in VATS it's unpredictable. If it wants to bend shit around corners, don't fire it at stuff that's not moving. Oh, he's not actually there. Well done, Todd. This is what happens when you get interns to develop a game. Moving on. So, with the criticals of the VATS, it's actually doing pretty damn well, but like I said before, trying to fire it through little crevices like that isn't going to, it's not going to do you any good, which is a shame. And I am full on radiation right now, so I need to pay very close attention to these enemies. But it looks like we can take out our super mutant friends with 2 to 4 bullets of this, which is fairly efficient, just that our magazine size isn't really great at dealing with multiple threats at the same time, as you saw in that opening clip. So we can already formulate that yes, quad and fire rate is going to be extremely potent, especially in PvP situations, but who cares about PvP? It's pretty fucking pointless to me. Anyways, we'll keep on going. And reloading that again. Now, I'd still like to see Quick Hands get a little bit of a buff, because 1 in 6 chance it's going to be proccing honestly too little of the time. It needs to be a little bit more. If it was the same as, let's say, Nuclear Winter, where it gives you the 25% chance to reload your mag instantly, well, I think that'd be a lot more viable. A 1 in 4 chance, that's pretty damn solid, rather than 1 in 6. I'm thinking a buff is necessary, because otherwise the perk is a little bit useless, especially since you can't equip it on weapons with 1 in the magazine capacity, and I'm glad that we removed that floating torso. This game, or this weapon, not only shows the glitches, but also fixes them. So if there's any floating corpses around, except for that stunned mullet super mutant we saw before, looks like we'll be good enough to take care of them. Also, having a look at the ammo, it's surprisingly efficient. I went into this thinking that I'm going to struggle a lot in terms of ammo and usage. Hang on, we already killed these two. But apparently it's actually a lot better. I started off with about... How are they aggroed already? That's bullshit. Okay. Good news. We're straight into a fight. That guy gets a couple of easy panic shots on me. Back into danger. Thanks, game. Okay, maybe throwing the explosive projectiles around like that. Please close the door. Thank you. Throwing around the explosive projectiles as such has detrimented me a little bit because these super mutants know exactly where I am. Although, okay, so it was basically after the explosions where the super mutants actually, that was the worst time to fucking reload it ever. So there's limitations of it basically. Ammo capacity, not great with stealth, and also energy stuff. It's not that hard, but look, I think you get the point against these super mutants. Let's find something else to kill. And despite us dying in that last section there, that's basically only because the bugs in this game fucked us over. Yeah, me firing at that broken-ass super mutant who should have been dead. There's another instance where I could have fucking died. So you can kill ghouls with gamma guns, who would have fucking thought. But yes, firing at that... Wow, this is a Jesus Christ, someone loves their energy guns on this server. But still. Oh, we can also ragdoll corpses, that's something I remember. Very, very nice. And the stealth is doing surprisingly well. And yeah, just one-shotting these ghouls now. Very good. But basically, we're being screwed over by the bugs in this game. And I'm choosing to leave that stuff in because if it happens to me, it'll happen to you. I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat the game and say, oh, this is just bugs happen to me. No, this is capable of happening to everyone. Ruining your game, ruining my game. Look, I don't want to spend every video complaining about the state of this game, but fucking hell, it's the worst sometimes. So, on healing ghouls, make sure you actually hit them full on, because if you bounce splash damage on them, unless they fix that. Okay, so basically direct hits are the only way to deal that damage. That's not how it was back in Fallout 4, and I'm pretty sure when I originally tested the Ghoul Slayer's Gamma Gun, you could still... That's weird. Maybe there's a tiny little bit of splash damage. Alright, so it appears that we actually aggroed most of these fellas to lure them out of their positions, and escape artists doing well there, I suppose. But no problems against these ghouls. And even if we do create the problems with ourselves being a little bit too aggressive, we're not going to be that far too bad just to, you know, back off and shoot them. So, let's see if I can get a heal on this ghoul. Okay, when it hits him for 1 damage. I don't know, I can't heal ghouls with this thing anymore. That's bizarre. Usually you'd think it would, but... Alright, totally done here. Very good against ghouls despite firing gamma radiation, but again, the amount of radiation here is not enough to outdo the damage that you're doing here, so, you know, this thing is still an effective weapon against ghouls, funnily enough. There you go. So, one of the questions that I get when I do my blade weapon videos is, why don't you just use a gamma gun to give yourself rads? Well, 1, that's a huge waste of ammo, and 2, we live in a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland. Radiation is everywhere, why would I need to shoot myself to do it? That's just a waste of ammo. Come on. Anyways, so these ghouls should fall pretty nicely. We're almost at it. We almost one-shotted that feral, no, not feral. Not quite. I mean, feral crabs would be a sight to see for sure, but still. Are we at nerd rate? Oh, no, we're not at full 60%. Fuck it, you can just die anyway. Ooh, it looks like the Myalert Queen is a little bit more resistant. That's par for the course. Although, well, never mind. We got a lucky proc of quick hands there, and we're able to quickly dish out an extra volley of explosive gamma radiation-y bullets to take out the Queen in a rather timely fashion. So yeah, it looks like that perk has done something at least. Okay, let's see how we do against Swanton, shall we? Alright. 1 mag's done about half of his health in, and 2 mags will do him in fully. 16 gamma rounds for a Swan kill is alright, considering with Ammo Smith and thing you can make 28, you know, from stuff. So that's not too bad, sure. Okay, PvP time. This is my camp and also my stealth boy. I'm unbeatable now. What's he gonna do, right? There he is, I'm gonna shoot him. Oh wow, I killed him instantly sort of thing. So yeah, I think he's AFK now, so no, that was a totally legit PvP kill. I just put boot to ass. I'm so good at this game. A challenger is incoming. Oh, combat music has started. We're on, boys. Well, that was kind of successful. Absolutely destroyed him. Now look, he's gonna request revenge, isn't he? Or seek vengeance. Ah, the next guy is up here somewhere, is he? Oh, he's down below. Well, XCOM says we've got the height advantage, so... Shit, that was a mistake. No matter, just pop a fresh mag in and see how we go. Ah, he's in power armor. As you can tell, no problem for the gamma gun despite the increased radiation resistance against radiation. The ballistic damage still punches through his big ol' hit bar very, very quickly. One more lad out here somewhere. See if we can't hit him up in VATS a little bit. Alright. At least we've got a high enough perception to figure out where he is. And another instantly kill there. Someone is seeking revenge. That is the AFK guy that I killed before. I'm gonna kill this vertibot because fuck your birds. I saw the other dude as well. There we go. Now I can hear properly at least. Other blokes down here. So we'll have no problems killing these guys if they make it up to us. That is Graham. Awkward. The only friendly super mutant around. And he's experiencing war between 3 people. There's one. Destroyed. Someone's using a Tesla rifle, shooting at his friend, and we instantly got killed there. So, honestly, pretty good run. I'm happy with that.
Get me while I'm AFK, motherfucker.
Yeah. And I'm rich now. Thanks, fellas.
Captainoob.
That'll be in the video. Cheers, guys. Okay, let's finish this off with a little bit of Scorch Beast fighting, and I'm not sure whether the Scorch Beast breeds energy damage. I don't think it matters all that much, but if I've got awareness, I want to find out what's the rad resistance on the Scorched. Oh, they're completely immune. Well, fuck you anyway. Alright, so the main issue here is going to get this guy on the ground, and I'm thinking Enforcer would be the way to go, but I don't carry shotguns around with me. So, whatever. We'll just shoot this guy, we'll draw the aggro, make him come a little bit closer, and we'll see what we can do, eh? Alright, he's coming in closer now. We've managed to get that hit on him. Yeah, the ultra-wide hitbox of the projectile actually works to our advantage in this instance, which is kind of strange, and despite only hitting him 4 or 5 times, we've actually done a pretty good job on his health bar. I was expecting this to be like the showstopper for the gamma gun, but apparently we're still doing alright. Alright, you're nice and close now, and poorly timed reload on my part there. We'll just get some projectiles out there. Not hitting them for as much now. I suspect we are indeed out of range. One thing we can do to increase our damage at range is aim the bloody thing. Whole lot of good that did. Alright, let's get some VAT shots on ya. Yeah, that seems to be going alright. I think when you get a critical, since these are... I don't know what type of projectile they are actually. Perhaps missiles, because they fly in a straight trajectory. We actually got him. Alright, so it took a while, so I won't, you know, go full fucking sicko mode in the Scorched land, but I feel like you get the idea of this thing, and I hope you enjoyed that PvP segment, because, it, you know, for as much as I say that I hate it, it is rather enjoyable to play, and I did actually make a profit out of that, which is nice. So, if you'd like to see this weapon in your game, you better get farming, or I might take offers on this. Actually, I like anti-armor pistols, because you ain't getting no armor piercing from any perks, that's for sure. So, at the same time, I think I'm in the market for a few more gamma rounds here and there, because I've gone through about 500-ish, and despite my worries about this thing completely shattering on me, it's actually held up pretty good considering. So yeah, there you have it, a little bit of a look at the gamma gun, anti-armor and crippling. I'm not sure how well the crippling did. Perhaps we saw some there was some staggers, but the big old gamma explosion kind of obscures that. So your guess is as good as mine. Thank you very much for watching, guys.